No, it's the on Shin and Show when your mental fitness is our business. So, the conservative right is still doing their same thing, still talking bad about people and whatnot. The Democratic National Convention is going on. It's night 4 today, and it's pretty good to see that Joe Biden is actually taking the initiative to run for president and such, and Kamella Harris and such. I think that's perfectly fine. I don't necessarily understand why people hate Kamala Harris so much. Or I should say the conservative right hates her so much. It doesn't really make any sense really, because I mean, no one has to. But getting ahead of myself. So the conservative right is always going around trying to make people do things, be like them. Like Dave Kirby always tries to, and his cult always tries to make people think and believe in the things that he does, and then he punches those who doesn't follow in his ways. I mean, his YouTube videos are evidence of that. And he talks bad about people behind their backs and behind their face. I mean, he's racist, he's homophobic, he's transphobic, he hates everyone who isn't white, anyone who isn't on the conservative right. And it's very disappointing. So, in the case of Kamala Harris, the conservative right, that's exactly the same thing. They always talk bad about her, especially Donald Trump. And whether or not that hurts Donald Trump's election by talking bad about her, from what I've seen and research that I've done, it looks like that is so. And I mean, Donald Trump has thousands of supporters and such, but the bigger issue here is what's really best for the people, and that's where the conservative right doesn't have the upper hand, because like say it's like Gage Kirby. Gage Kirby always says that he has the people's best interest at heart, which is a lie, because most of the time he's tearing people down, not building them up. And if you really have the people's best interest at heart, then your actions will reflect that. But when you just sit there and say, okay, well, I care about all people, then you just got finished spending 2 hours saying bad things about other people, especially minorities and such. At the end of the day, that doesn't help anyone. That all that does is show that you're a liar, and then you want to yell and scream and holler and then attack anyone else. That doesn't change the fact that you're still a liar. One thing about Gage Kirby and a lot of the conservative right is that they desperately try to drag people onto their side, and then when people actually see the truth in what they're saying, the fallacies in their beliefs, at the end of the day, instead of them admitting, hey, I'm wrong and I'm sorry, they go off and on this tangent, and they go off using Gage Kirby's words, and they go off, it's on a rampage. I mean, it's not just one person. They do it with everyone people is not on their side. Everyone who isn't on their side, they feel like they are the enemy. Francis Swagger, Jimmy Swagger, the lot, they do exactly the same thing. Somehow the Muslims are always the evil ones, and somehow the Hindus, and it's like, the Hindus have this, and the Muslims have that, but we got Jesus Christ, and it's like, okay, well, that's fine and all, but then why you have to go and, verbally abuse people and stuff? That's the issue right there, the last part. There's nothing wrong with having different religions, but at the end of the day, like, you can still get along with people. And that's the same thing goes for belief systems and ideologies and who people choose to love, and etc. Gage Kirby and the conservative right doesn't seem to understand that it takes all kinds to make a world. This isn't some sort of high ideology where we all have to believe in the same thing, marry, you don't have to marry the same type of person, anything like that. That's not how life works. And it's sad that Gage Kirby runs away from education, but he's so deep in it, he's so brainwashed, and the conservative right is so brainwashed that at the end of the day, they can't accept truth. To them, truth is lies, and lies is truth. They're deceived by the lie, and they promote it as truth, even though the rest of the world knows what it really is, and calls it for what it really is. And it's highly disappointing. It's like how the conservative right, mostly Gage Kirby boys, they harass me on YouTube and stuff like that. Always got negative comments, and always pessimistic. Not one time do they ever support democracy. They always gotta go against everybody who wants positive change and what's best for humanity. They only like people who want what's best for the conservative right, which is wrong. And pessimism isn't necessarily a attractive quality in a person, especially when they think everyone's evil and the world's coming to an end and such, when clearly that's not the case. How deep does the rabbit hole go? How deep does the corruption in these conservatives' soul actually go? That's something that only time will tell. And Donald Trump isn't any different. He does basically the same thing that Gage Kirby does. Bullies the left, bullies everyone who's different. He hates immigrants, he hates Asian people, and Gage Kirby, you think, his people, of course, are trying to cover it up. You're slandering people and stuff like that. That's not true at all. I'm Asian, and Gage Kirby has admitted in many of YouTubers that he hates me. So therefore, guess what? He hates Asians. The evidence is right there in front of you. It's not that hard. You just go to Gage the Loudmouth channel on YouTube. You can just go in the search bar and just type Gage the Loudmouth. That's Gage Kirby. And at the end of the day, you go there and you can see for yourself the evidence of him saying bad things about the liberal left. Always hateful, swearing and cursing against the liberal left. Yet, interesting enough, he never focused on his own flaws. Because I can name a few flaws myself. He's a liar. His skin is greasy. He doesn't have proper fashion. He doesn't necessarily care how he looks in front of the camera. And his equipment doesn't work. Those are 5 problems right there. You don't see me bullying him and nagging him and all that lot. Yeah, he wants to do the same thing for the problems, and those problems are actually problems. They're actually blessings. So the conservative right has a lot of issues. So I believe that Kamella Harris and her and Joe Biden campaign, it's gonna be a pretty hard road, because the conservative right, they don't let up. Every time you tear them down, they just get back up and keep on moving. They're like dust bunnies. You vacuum them up, and more just come. It's got to keep going at it. You can't give up. And that's basically the message right there for today. Never give up. You can't just give up on things. And it's hard sometimes. Actually, no, it's hard sometimes because, Gage Kirby's bullying me. He's doing all sorts of evil against people. Yes, things are dying down. And yes, he's being silenced as he should be. But at the same time, you still got the remnants of evil spewing out his mouth and into the hearts of the innocent, and that's not right. The fight against injustice is long and hostile, but it's worth it. So in another events, the Hammer National Government and the Hammer Shania Corporation has brand new websites up. Of course, Gage Kirby and his cult believes that countries don't exist. Because they believe that countries don't exist. They don't believe that people have the right to be independent. And so he goes around, him and his cult followers go around saying, oh well, it's not true. This Hammer Shania thing isn't true. It's a fake country, it's a fake thing, it's fake that. Everything's fake. Black Lives Matter is fake. This is fake and that is fake. Of course, you have to realize is the fact that, what conservatives say is fake is real. What the conservatives say is real is fake. They say global warming is fake, but we all know that's real. And they say that, freedom of speech and expression in the sense of they have the right to bully people is real when in fact it's fake. Freedom of speech and expression is real, but it's no excuse to go and bully people and be a complete idiot. And they can take real things and put a spin to it and create a false narrative behind a false story behind it, like they do with me. And it's a shame, really, because it's like, okay, on one hand, Gage Kirby and his cult, they say, oh well, we don't care about the liberals, we don't care about them, yet they keep talking about them. So their actions contradict the words, and actions speak louder than the words. So the reality of the matter is that they have a lot of explaining to do, and of course they're not going to explain it accurately. They're not going to explain themselves intelligently or even tell you the truth because they're chronic liars. So sometimes it's just best just to cast them aside and just keep living your life. There's always going to be idiots going around saying bad things about people because they're different than them and such. And until they get the education that they need, to actually go and know how to respect people like they should, because respect is given, not earned. At the end of the day, they're always just gonna keep screwing themselves over and keep ruining their lives and whatnot. And of course, they're gonna blame everyone else, but it's all empty statements and empty words. The reality of the matter is they're responsible for their own actions, not anyone else. So they're destroying their own lives, not me, not Joe Biden, not Barack Obama, not anybody. At the end of the day, alien lives matter too. And the fact that the Gage Kirby and the conservative right and the cult within believe otherwise is quite sad and sickening. But that's the purpose of the Hammer Shania Corporation and the Democratic Republic of the Hammer Shania. The purpose of those things, is to lift people up from the brink of the swamp, the conservative, corrupt swamp, and to clean them off with water of hope, and to provide them with the necessary tools that they need to actually live prosperous lives. So Gage Kirby and the conservative right are hurting people. We're actually going out there, picking up the pieces, rescuing the victims and actually, listening to them and giving them the very things that they need in order to have, happy, successful lives. Because everyone has the right to life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And the conservative right are trying to, like I said, the conservative right is here to steal, kill, and destroy. Steal our democracy, kill our human rights, and destroy our humanity. And it's nothing new. It's been going on for thousands of years. But nevertheless, the very fact that it continues like this is despicable. If you, for example, if you speak Hindi and someone who speaks Punjabi goes and beats you up, that's not right. And the very fact that the people make excuses to beat someone up for speaking a different language or living in a different place or having different sexuality or being different in any way, shape, or form is quite sad. It's very sad indeed. It shows how anti-human these conservatives really are. And one day, one day they'll realize their mistakes. Hopefully it won't be too late for them. And so the websites are basically the representation of what they're about. The national government runs the Democratic Republic of the Hamlet Shania, and the Democratic Republic of the Hamlet Shania is about creating an environment where we are all on the same level. The Hamlet Shania Corporation extends that to the different businesses and different corporations and people within to make sure that equality is actually being benefited by all, not just the few. And I had conservatives say, "Oh well, which one is it? Is it a company or is it a country? Oh, you can't make up your mind." They're two separate things with the same name, but they're correlated within each other, right? So the Hamlet Shania Corporation is connected with the Democratic Republic of the Hamlet Shania, the national government. The national government is connected with the country with the same name, and they're all interconnected. So the corporation deals with the local level, and then the government deals with the national level. It's not really hard to understand. And there's fractions within the Hamlet Shania Corporation. So it's very elaborate, and of course, when it comes down to being elaborate, conservatives don't necessarily have the IQ or the brain power to comprehend very elaborate concepts. And so naturally they're going to go instead of admitting, hey, you know what, I'm dumb and I don't understand these things, and whatnot, and actually get an education so you don't have to be dumb. They go off and just bully and antagonize people, and such for what they don't know. They basically abuse other people because of what they don't know. Instead of just owning up to the fact they don't know something, and then just moving on with their life and getting an education so they can know. When I don't know something or understand something, I learn. I don't go around attacking people, And, this is the downfall of the Republican Party. It's the downfall of the conservative right. Because as people start waking up and start realizing the detrimental flaws of the conservative right, the more angry the conservative right gets. Not because, we're wrong for realizing fact and truth and being enlightened, but because of the very fact that they're losing members and they're losing popularity, like they're attention whores, and they want that attention. So when the truth comes out and now they're losing that attention, they get mad at the messenger of the truth instead of getting, instead of focus on themselves and asking, what can I do as a human being to draw people back in? The only thing that they can do is be nice. But of course, these conservatives don't know what love is. Hopefully you do. You, the listener, does. And it is love that makes this world go round. It's diversity that makes the world go round. And as a candidate for president and a candidate for mayor of Los Angeles, it's detrimental that, even I have to realize the fact that, the conservative right would do everything possible in order to destroy democracy, destroy humanity, and destroy our unity and our independence. And so I can't allow them to build that wall, if you will. Well, in Donald Trump's case, literally. But I can't allow them to build that wall. I have to always be 10 steps ahead of them, and such. And, so while the conservative right is building walls and building boundaries, we're tearing them down, And it becomes paramount that we understand it, because otherwise, when you just let the conservative right win and they keep building up the walls, we're going to be imprisoned. And then next thing you know, we ourselves are going to start seeing the world as only us, like the world revolves around us, and we're going to become isolated, and and that doesn't help anyone. Isolation doesn't help anyone, But we need is unity of humanity. We need to unify together to combat global warming and to combat, racism and such and whatnot. You can read your Bible, you can read your Quran, which is great, there's nothing wrong with that. But you need action behind that, because you can read all you want to, and your neighbor is still racist against you. You need action behind that. And of course, by reading intellectual books and intellectual doctrine, when you do take that action, you're not going to be violent against your neighbor. You're going to love your neighbor as yourself, and you're going to do the right thing, of course. But that being said, they come hand in hand. You can't just say, oh, well, I read the Bible. Okay, I read the Bible, which is good, and you're going to beat the Muslim or the Hindu with it. That's not right, because even the Bible says to love your neighbor as yourself. Especially if your neighbor is Muslim or Hindu, then that's even more reason to love. See how all your other friends are stupid enough to hate them, be smart enough to love them. And it's not a hard thing, it's an easy thing to do. So now the question becomes, are the conservatives smart enough to get out the conditioning and get out their brainwashing and stop brainwashing people and actually go out there and love? And I believe that Kamella Harris and Joe Biden, they have the capability to actually care about other people, to care about people other than themselves. I have that same capability too. And the websites and the Hammer Shania Corporation and the Democratic Republic of the Hammer Shania, they do the same thing too. They know what love is. And of course, the conservative right will always go and leave hateful comments in our YouTube channels and whatnot. You first. Like, that means nothing to me. Like, you first what? This shows how ignorant the conservative right really is. If you can just repeat, you first. And to me, and to them, it's funny and it makes perfect sense. But to the person who's reading that, you first what? Like, if I'm capable enough to analyze what you're saying and realize that it's an incomplete sentence and that has no correlation with everyday life, clearly I'm not as stupid as they say they are. Say I am. In fact, they're the one that's dumb. And so, you have to learn discernment. You have to know you have to understand what people, whatever somebody says to you, you have to understand whether you have to know whether it's true or whether it's not. And most of the things that the conservative right says about people on YouTube, all these quote unquote, exposure videos, they're all fake. And that's why you always see the disclaimers on like gays, the loudmouth, YouTube channels. This video is filled with fake news. Yes, it is. Because nothing Gage Kirby says about me or anybody else is any way, shape, or form remotely true. He doesn't even know. He keeps saying, you don't know me. We don't even know each other yet. Okay, so if you don't know each other, then how is anything you say true? You don't know me. So then how do you make that correlation? See, and he's just screwing himself over and over again. Same with the conservative right. But we don't have to be that way. We the people can be different. Whether you're in India or the Philippines or Scotland or Europe or Moldova or Mexico or whatever, we can be different. We don't have to copy from the capitalistic pigs of America. Not everyone, but those who are. They know where they are. We the people can go out and be who we want to be. We can wear what we want to wear. You want to wear a hijab, go ahead. You want to wear, you want to wear a dress, so be it. Like, it's your life, it's your choice. No matter what the conservative right says, don't let them get to you. Now, of course, if they do what America did with Iraq and Afghanistan and go off and invade the country, okay, you have to right to self-defense. But that's what it is. It's self-defense, not you just going off and attacking people. It's actually self-defense, because the United States has no right to go around bullying other countries. They have no right to go and set foot in Iraq and then try to claim the land as theirs and then try to take their oil and burn it down, and do all this stuff under the fake, under the fake disguise of we're trying to bring democracy into Iraq. Like, why do you need to invade a country in order to bring democracy? Why don't you just use diplomatic means? You always talk about, how you always want, want more opportunities for democracy to actively interject democracy and diplomacy on international levels. Okay, well, then why not do that with Iraq? Why do you need guns for? Guns are not a part. Guns should never be a part of the diplomatic process. And so, it's disappointing, really, how America is cursing the world. It's very disappointing how Americans hate how especially like people they go off and say, let's make America great, and we don't know what that means. And let's make America white again. And it's really sad that when the younger generation learns this stuff and they learn the truth, here comes the conservative right jumping at them and beating them up because they actually study something for once. Because life is a lot more than just hating gay people and throwing Bibles at people's heads. Life is so much more than that. You can sit there and say, I believe in the Bible, but to be honest, the Bible does not address every single issue in the world today. So, like when Jimmy Swagger says, the Bible is the only, the Bible is the only solution to the world's problem. That's not true at all. Nowhere in the Bible does it talk about global warming. Nowhere in the Bible does it talk about ending, talk about high-speed rail. Nowhere in the Bible does it talk about planes going at Mach 5. Nowhere in the Bible does it talk about Vladimir Putin. Nowhere in the Bible does it talk about Donald Trump cheating in 2016 elections and being involved with quid pro quo involving the Ukraine situation. Nowhere in the Bible does it talk about anything about public transportation or how to keep the environment clean. Because the environment existed back then, but they didn't have the same issues as we do now. So therefore, the Bible does not necessarily represent us in today's times, because today's time is completely different. The Bible says, okay, if someone is teasing you or bullying you, thou shalt not throw your phone against the wall. There's no modernization within the Bible. It's all old school. And there's nothing wrong with being old school, but the point is, you cannot take an old ideology that's based around a civilization that doesn't exist anymore and try to put it into a brand new world, where correlation between the new civilization and such. So to sit there and certain people are abominations to the Lord, it's not going to make any abomination to the Lord. Of course they're going to sit there and of course they're going to sit there and 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 fight back against it, because you know back in the dark ages, of course, so all their abominations, I understand completely. You know, so is written, so it shall be true. But the reality of the matter is that just because the Bible says that someone's an abomination, it doesn't mean it's accurate. And then nowadays, people are intelligent. People are highly intelligent now compared to the olden days. People are gonna ask, well, wait, how are they abominations? Because every time I look at a gay person, or every time I interact with these people, I don't see abomination. They're actually very nice people. So now people are starting to make that connection between what the Bible is saying, or what the conservative right is saying the Bible is saying, and the reality of the world. It's like Dave Kirby saying that global warming doesn't exist. Well, wait a second, global warming doesn't exist, but we can look at the data and the research and everything, and guess what? The evidence proves that global warming does exist. Gage Kirby believes that people are stupid, that we can't make decisions and choices for ourselves. We don't know anything. We somehow we were born with a lack of intelligence, and only the conservative right can go and educate everyone, because the conservative right is somehow God. This is what Gage Kirby and the conservative right, Gage Kirby is called, and the conservative right believes. But the reality of the matter is that, the brain, it doesn't matter, the size of the brain. What matters is the content within itself. Like we carry around smartphones. It used to be supercomputers. Everything had to be big in order for it to be, functional. But the reality of the matter is that, these smartphones and stuff, our smartwatches and whatnot, the technology, it's small. But our small technology is actually more powerful than the supercomputers of the 1980s. So security, the size of a person's brain doesn't necessarily provide any evidence of how smart a person really is. It's about what that person's doing with their lives. It's about the fact that they have that proper education. I don't just mean you sit in front of a teacher and he tells you things you just happen to pass and get a diploma or a degree or something. I mean, an education in life itself, because there's so much in life that is not taught in the colleges and universities and high schools and such. There's so much on this planet that has not been discovered yet. And so, we the people need to understand that. Everyone needs an education every day, because we always, that's what learning is. And the fact that the conservative right, these Gage Kirby types, who walk around saying, "Oh well, people are stupid. They don't understand love. They don't understand it. It's a bunch of hoopla." We need the people to understand whatever we want to understand. And we can, just like Gage Kirby doesn't understand how he's hurting humanity, and I understand how he's hurting humanity, right? At the end of the day, guess what? We have a choice. So that being said, that choice is based on free will, which Gage Kirby is against. Therefore, Gage Kirby is the one who is against humanity, not me. And it takes intelligence to realize the fact that, it's not your fault. Like we, the people, are victims of the ideology of the far right and their political agenda to kill, steal, and destroy. We need to stand up. We need to fight back. And there's many ways of doing it. And I don't mean violence, because I know Gage Kirby's gonna go out there and take my words and try to find some way to spin. But fighting does not necessarily mean you have to go and lay your hands on people. Fighting can be an intellectual fight, an intellectual battle. A battle against the masses intellectually, spiritually, emotionally, financially. It doesn't have to be a physical fight. And that's what the Hammering is all about. It's about not giving up. It's about continuing that fight that that past generations had to deal with as well. The very fact that racism still exists even to this day is appalling. And I mean the detrimental fact that these conservatives think that America is better than everyone else is appalling by itself. Because we're all created equal. In the same plane of existence, we're all created equal. So no one's better than anyone. We have our good, we have our bad. America has its good, America has its bad. India has its good, India has its bad, and that's really opinionated. Because what one person likes, another person may not like. But we can't just take these situations and manipulate them and corrupt them into some sort of political agenda against the international community. Just to go and push some sort of fake American patriotism, that even America doesn't approve of. We just need to find that balance. We need to find that balance, and that's the point of never giving up. It may not seem like it's working out for you today, but the wheel, as long as the wheels are turning, that's the bottom line. It's like it takes an hour to get from. It may take an hour to get from Bengaluru to Mumbai, but at the end of the day, guess what? As long as the wheels are in motion, you're gonna get to. As long as the wheels are in motion, you're gonna get to, Mumbai at any given time. I mean, the only way that you're not gonna get there is if you hit the brakes of the car and just give up. Right? You're never gonna get from point A to point B by just giving up. You get out the car or you turn the car around and go home. Right? You gotta keep going down that highway. You gotta keep going down the road. And there's gonna be rocks. You're gonna be stumbling blocks. You're gonna be people don't want to get out the road and give you the time, give you the respect that you deserve. And they're gonna try to take your car and they're gonna try to do stupid stuff. But you gotta keep on going down that national highway until you reach Mumbai, and or wherever you're going, and such, And giving up is never an option for humanity, because if we give up, the conservatives win, and that's something that we can never live with. That's something that we should never have to suffer from. So that's the Honest Shanae Show for today. This is the Honest Shanae Show for today, and I hope that you tune in next time. There will be another podcast. No matter how many times Kate Kirby tries to censor us, we will rule supreme over the censorship of the conservative right, because we have the right to freedom of speech just like they do. They have the right to go and hate and say all sorts of hateful, racist, racial slurs on YouTube against people. We have the right to go and tell the truth to the same group of people, and that's one to grow on. And I hope to hear from you next time. It's the Honest Shanae Show, where our mental fitness is, or your mental fitness is our business. Until next time, goodbye.